Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Okay, today I'm going to tell you what I figured out and the pitfalls that, if you have not seen my last video about shadow work can be messy, I'm going to post the link here because you need to watch that first so you understand what I'm getting ready to tell you. Because I figured out what it was that was bothering me, what the shadow part was, and kind of some of the process, because it's easy to go into blaming somebody else, just excusing the situation and not digging down to figure out what it is, what is triggering you, why is it triggering you. And in my last video, I was telling you that there's something that keeps triggering me. There was a situation that kept coming up, and I'm trying to decide whether to give you details. It doesn't really matter. But there were 4 scenarios where my husband and I mean, prime example, the day I went to buy my motorcycle. We're standing there talking to the guy that's selling my motorcycle, okay? He's telling my husband everything about this bike. You know, the maintenance that needs to be done on it, the you know, how to operate the bike, all this kind of stuff. Even though I'm the one asking the questions, he's looking at my husband and explaining everything. Which, when you come from a background that I come from, of you understand all this stuff, this is what you enjoy doing. This is your bike, right? Why is he not talking to me? So I left there. I was kind of pissed. And then there was the other situations that I told you before where I was just completely overlooked. And it was all about my husband. You know, they were looking to my husband, and I'm talking to my husband. And my last video, it had stressed me, right? It stressed me because I was trying to figure out what it is. And then there were 2 other situations that happened after those where I ask a question, I'm talking to a guy, and they're looking at my husband, giving him the answer. Or they're looking at my husband, telling him whatever. And it's like I'm not even there. And so I'm working through this process of what is it? Why is it bothering me? And this, you know, this is probably not shadow work that you need to deal with, but you have your own shadow work. What I'm telling you, and it doesn't matter where you are in your process, because there are things to be aware of. Pitfalls, belief systems that we've been geared to think that you need to get past to find what it is that's triggering you. And like I said in my last video, I went to sleep 2 nights trying to figure out what this was. I worked on it during the day, the whole bit. Anyway, and I'm talking to my husband about it, and he said, and his response was, Pam, you need to realize that you're working in a man's world. All of those things are what men do, and they don't understand how to deal with women. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but that's not it. That's an excuse. And it's not about everybody else. It's why is it bothering me? And when you understand the shadow work, it's not about blaming anybody else. It's not about an excuse of why they're doing their behavior. It's not about them. It's about why is it bothering you? And I woke up the other night at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was wide awake. I'm like, okay, what is it? So I was running the scenarios through my head. And I'm like, what is the feeling? What is it that is bothering me? And disrespect because I muscle tested for, is it curses? Is it hexes? Is it spells? Is it limiting beliefs? Is it fears? Is it trauma? Is it all of these things? And it was coming up, no, that's not it. But yes, there's something you need to clear. So at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I start testing for feelings that I'm getting. Like, what is it, like, in here that's really hitting? And it was disrespect. And I tested and I got a yes. So because they were disrespecting me. You know, I don't care if it's a man's world. That's not, things are shifting. And I get it. Okay. Because one of the things he said, because a lot of it is military, and most 90% of military is men. They don't understand how to deal with women because you're not taught, you're all one. However, a lot of times you get put in a situation, and this happens in life. This isn't just military, where, because not all women are like me. You have those women that want to cause a problem, that want to take something simple and blow it way out of proportion. And so, yes, I understand that men have to be careful. And in the biker world, you don't talk to another man's wife. That's disrespect. You talk to him. I get all those things. The thing is, there was something there for me. So, like I said, I had to clear disrespect. And there's a whole ton of stuff around everything that I just told you that society needs to work through. That's not why I'm here. That's bigger than I care to dig into, because you're dealing with male ego, you're dealing with, I don't even know what you call it, with women that I don't even want to go there. But I choose not to go there. Let's put it that way. So I cleared the disrespect. And I will tell you, after I cleared the disrespect, I had a dream that was so peaceful. So I knew I had hit a key point. Well, the next day, when I was talking to a friend of mine, I told her, I said, because my husband had also made a statement to me. He's like, Pam, the other thing you have to realize is people come to me. He's like, I don't need to be in a spotlight. I just get things done. So, and the people, most of these people that we're working with know that. So that's why they're talking to me. And again, it's an excuse. No, that's not it. That's not what's pissing me off. So, but I'm also that person, where people know that I can get things accomplished. So they come to me. When I was talking to the friend of mine, I told her, I said, never in my life have I had this come up. because anybody I've ever been with before, they have their own expertise that I don't care about, you know? So if I know you can handle X situation, I'm going to talk to you. People would tell whoever I was with, whatever they needed accomplished. And because I didn't care, it didn't bother me. This was the first time, I told her, I said, I am matched with somebody that is my, excuse me, my equal. And it hit me. That is where the real crux of all of it is. Because I told her, I said, it is an ego hit for me. And when I tested, I got a yes. And when you think about having to, because it's not about me having to get the recognition. That's not what it was. It's the fact that these people weren't, I understand everything that these people were going to him and talking about. My motorcycle. You know, again, it's my bike. Talk to me. I'm getting ready to ride this thing 4.5 hours away. I think I need to understand how it operates. You know, the maintenance stuff, I understand mechanics. Am I going to work on my bike? Probably not, but I understand the oil needs to be changed. And this is, you know, these are the things that you use to wash your bike. It's all stuff that he was talking to my husband about. Sorry, my cats are crazy. But, and then everything else. It's like, you're dealing in a world that I understand. So it was the fact that they weren't telling me. And I don't know if this is making any sense or not. But it was an ego hit for me because they weren't, my ego understood this. They weren't telling me. So therefore, I felt a conflict. It was like there was competition. I don't deal with competition. I don't deal with, I have to prove anything. But it was like I was having to prove myself. And it was like I was having to go up against my husband. Because I'm a very strong, I have a very strong divine masculine side. Very strong. So you have the competition, you have but it's not, I say it's not out of ego, but there is a part of your ego that you need to put into check when you're in the divine masculine. And so, but coming to the realization of what it was, that it was the ego hit, and I'm not in competition with my husband. There is no, if it's the same thing and he can excel at it, it's not a knock against me. It's the realization. Sometimes it's just understanding what it is that's triggering you, and you can come to a peace and just release it. And it's amazing. So again, this was my scenario. It's not the same for everybody. And again, I'm talking to those of you that understand ego. And you understand we're here to learn to control our ego, not let our ego control us. You know, it's not about blame. It's not about excuses. It's not about externalizing any of your power. Because for me to understand that it was an ego hit for me, that's huge. That's huge. Especially coming from the dynamic that I come from. I'm not an alpha. I don't choose to be an alpha, but I am a sigma. And if you don't understand what the dynamic of a sigma female is, and my husband is a sigma male, you can complement each other perfectly. When you can complement each other perfectly because you're not fighting for the lead, but you both get things accomplished. And he can pull in where I have a weakness or I don't understand something like he does, but vice versa. I can be there when he doesn't understand something like I do. But we get things accomplished. So when you've got two people that accomplish in the same realm, the same things, there's a clash. And especially for a female that comes from the belief system that I had before of no guy is going to walk over top of me. I'm not going to be taken advantage of. I'm not, you go to the mechanic, because I've had this. The woman goes to the mechanic to get her car fixed, and they come out and they tell you, oh, well, you need all this stuff done to your car to fix it. Most women don't know. And that's not a knock. It's just they didn't grow up in the world of working on cars. This one, I choose not to do some of the work myself. I choose to take it to a mechanic, and especially when you're in there to get your car inspected, that's not something I do. So when they come to you and they tell you all this stuff needs to be fixed, this one, show me. Prove it to me. So they take you back, they're telling you all this kind of stuff, and then they're like, oh, well, but, you can probably let it go for a little while longer. Thought so. Yeah, so you were just getting ready to suck me dry for hundreds of dollars that I don't need to spend right now because you think I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm just supposed to trust you. No, I don't play that way. So I've seen that in action, among other things, where we're thought of as less than. We're thought of as you're just supposed to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and just keep your mouth shut, and that's not me. And that's not any woman. That's not the way you're supposed to treat women. Again, this is a whole nother thing that I am not even going to get into today because of the society that we've grown up in. However, my point today is when things start triggering you, there's a reason. You need to own it. You need to be strong enough to understand that it's not the excuses. It's not them. Because it would be easy for me to just excuse the behavior and excuse, oh, well, yeah, they're just talking to my husband, or blaming him because it was always him. So therefore, it would be easy for me to get mad at him and blame him for putting me in a bad situation where I didn't feel comfortable or I felt disrespected. It's his fault. No, it's not his fault. And it's not their fault. So this is where those of you that step into your power and have learned to clear your shadow work, some of it gets messy. Most of it isn't something that people are willing to look at. That's why they don't do it. For those of you that do it, congratulations. Because it's not for the faint at heart. When you look at parts of you that aren't, it's not an easy pill to swallow. It's not fun to own it and realize that it's coming from you and not out of judgment. Because that's the other part of it, is I could have judged myself. No, it's not here to judge. It's here because when you clear it, you feel so much lighter. You feel so much better. I mean, when I realized it was disrespect, that was one layer that it was like, oh my God, thank God, I finally figured it out. But then to go deeper and realize it was an ego hit, you got to own that. You can't put that off on anybody else. And you can, but it's not going to heal it. And this is a time to let go of what no longer serves you and step into your power from a place of love and peace, even for yourself. So I hope this makes sense. Like I said, coming to a place, and the more you do this, the more shadows you clear, the more shadows you heal, the more you start to understand that it's not about anybody but you. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. Your shadows are different than my shadows. What is it that's triggering you? What is it that's not setting well with you? What is it that's making you upset? Because again, it's all you. And understanding that and coming to a place where you can just love yourself regardless, and love yourself for going through it and getting through it to be able to heal it. It's amazing. Because again, most people in the world, they'd have just either continued the behavior, continued getting pissed, because this is the time where it is going to keep coming up until you clear it. So I would have had the same scenarios play out over and over and over again. Now, it doesn't bother me. Now, it'll be, I will see it for what it is, and I won't feel the ego. I won't feel the ego hit, and I will be able to confidently stand up and say, wait a minute, I need to know this, or I'm the one speaking to you, or whatever I need to say from a place of love, self-love. So anyway, I know this was kind of wonky. I hope it helps shed light on somehow we can fall into the trap of the 3D, the limiting beliefs, the blame, the exteriorizing, your power. Because I was letting these things have power over me. No. Now I've taken my power back. So if this helps you, if it makes sense to you, even if not, just for grins, just click the like button. Make me happy. Subscribe to my channel. Share it. Because I know that whoever needs to hear this will hear it, but it will get out faster if you share it. And I'm going to put a link to my book, both of them. the Liberating Your Consciousness, which is free, but it helps you understand limiting beliefs and how to clear them. And my new book, Cultivating Peace and Purpose. And that helps you. It has shifted so you understand, so people understand how to see things from a different perspective. So anyway, I will put those links below. It's amazing. So I send you love. I send you light. If you're dealing with a shadow and you can't get through it, you can't seem to figure out what it is, reach out to me. I'm here to help you. That's what I do. You know? So anyway, because there's more I can tell you about this, but I'm not going to, not today. We will talk soon, but have an amazing day.